In progress.
All right, back for another fraction lesson. So we have talked about fractions as being parts of a whole number, identifying numerator and denominator with the children, or distinguishing rather, and then, going through some exercises to help them understand that even though the number 10 is bigger than the number 3, a tenth is smaller than a third. So, lots of exercises to help them kind of internalize the fact that fractions, as their denominator numbers become bigger, they actually get smaller and are smaller, smaller and smaller from the whole. Also, that they're parts of numbers, right? Fractions are parts of numbers, because the next thing they're going to explore after this is decimals. All right, and we know that decimals are parts of a whole number. So they also explored equivalency. So what is equivalent to a half, 2/4, 3/6? They did that by manipulating the materials all the way through tenths. And then we moved into adding and subtracting and multiplying fractions and what that looks like and how they solve those problems. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to do an exercise. It's called reducing fractions. And if you remember when or at least when I was growing up, and we had a fraction like this, 2/6, we were taught to find the highest common multiple between 2 and 6 and divide numerator and denominator by that number. So the highest common multiple between 2 and 6 is 2. So I divide 2 by 2 and 6 by 2, and I would get 1/3. 1/3. That's how I was taught to reduce a fraction. Okay, so they will get to this point where they're doing it abstractly, probably in upper elementary. But there's a way that you can teach them about reducing fractions with the materials. So 2/6, if we have 2/6, here's 2/6. What you tell them is when we're reducing fractions, it means we are replacing whatever our fraction is, if we can, or if it's an option, with the fraction that is closest to the whole. Okay, so 2/6. What is, and then you would go through, do fifths fit in the 2/6? Do fourths fit in the 2/6? And probably at this point they already know because they've done equivalency and they've been doing other activities with the fraction. So, oh, a third fits in here. So the reduction of 2/6 is going to be 1/3. All right, so obviously lots of examples of this. 4/8. How do we reduce 4/8? Oh, they can see that one pretty, a half. So 4/8 is going to equal a half, for, when we're reducing it. Lots of examples. So 3/9. Oh, how do we reduce 3/9? Us in our heads, we're like 3/9. Oh, 1/3. A third. That is as closest to the whole as I'm going to get is a third. 3/9. The reduction of 3/9, a reduced fraction of 3/9 is 1/3. 5/10 would be a half. 6/9 would be 2/3. Okay, so lots of exercises with that, and then having them do some follow-up, where maybe you're writing some fractions like 2/6, 3/9, 5/10, 4/8, even 2/8. Because 2/8 is going to equal, oops, I'm sorry, 2/8 is going to equal the 4. Lots of opportunities for them to practice this reduction of fractions. And then you can move into expecting them to reduce fractions after an operation. So for example, 1/6 plus 1/6 equals 2/6. Can you reduce that fraction, right? Can you reduce 2/6? Yes, I can reduce it to a third, equals 1/3. So the answer of 1/6 plus 1/6 is 2/6, and its reduced form is 1/3. 1/3. All right, so after they've practiced reducing fractions, you know, for quite some time, and it becomes more familiar to them, and then you can ask them as they're solving fraction problems to reduce their final answer to its reduced fraction, the one closest to the whole. All right, so that is our lesson on reducing fractions.